your hair looks so nice.
I literally just what I do is I twist it like this, and then I put it up like this, and then I clip it, and then it just
While it's wet.
and then I just like
mine would not do that.
And then what does it do when you like comb it out?
I don't comb it out. I just keep twisting and twisting and twisting.
And then just wear it like that?
Well,
Like
and then
pigtail?
after a while, then hopefully it like stays. But sometimes it doesn't. But until then, we're gonna keep it like this, all hair to the front.
Okay. I had a fourth grader today. Oh my gosh, this little punk in the lunchroom. He was like, "Hey, are you Sigma?" And I was like, "I don't answer to that word.
What does that mean?
It's some stupid word that all the children are talking about. Like you're either Sigma or Beta." And I was just like, "Sorry, I don't answer to that word."
What do you
And then he like turns to his friend and goes, "She's Beta." And I was like, "Would you like to try again?" And I was like, I said, "Are you Sigma?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Does that mean that you're respectful?"
I like it.
So I was like, "No, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. I don't have time for that." So
You're like, I do have Riz though.
do better.
Need like
That's
a
what, like,
treat.
as soon as that word came out of that kid's mouth, I was like, "Nope, this is not happening."
People are like skibidi toilet.
What does
YouTube
it
is
even mean?
a terrible place.
I'm like, why?
I mean, I think it's kind of like, do you remember those funny videos with the unicorns?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like that. Or like
Shiz.
shoes. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or like imaginary muffin, you know. I think it's like that, where it just like gets stuck in your head and then you like
Right.
Paperclip.
No, okay, so watching the
Gun.
Olympics.
Oh,
Yes. So I was watching, as I'm watching the Olympics, I see all these Kenyans running, and they run as fast as Kenyans, you know.
Oh my gosh, I haven't
So
thought about that.
it's kind of
Power
the same.
blast.
Yeah, power blast.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that one in a long time.
Or yeah, the one with like
Gun.
Charlie, that really hurt. Or the I'm Hermione. Hermione.
Oh yeah.
The, like, Harry
Dumbledore.
Potter
Dumbledore.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Puppet pals or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Ron.
Ron
Oh,
Weasley.
yeah, right.
Ron.
Ron.
Harry Potter.
Ron.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Hermione. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh my
Voldemort.
goodness.
Voldemort, Voldemort. I feel like Lauren Bergstrom.
Yes,
She's
I
just
think of
that.
them when
Yeah.
I think of that.
Oh my gosh, weird.
I mean, we thought that was funny, so maybe that's what this is too.
Maybe.
I guess so.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do when I have to interact with these high schoolers.
Right. Because I was a fourth grader.
And fourth grade, I can talk like that to a fourth grader. I can't talk like that to a high schooler. They'll beat me up.
Yeah, you kind of have to like tread lightly. I don't know.
Or you just ignore it. Act like you didn't even hear it.
Yeah. Or be like self-deprecating, like, dude, I'm not cool enough to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that'd probably be the route to go.
Or I usually just kind of look at them being like, mm-mm. I give them the mom look. Like I do that all the time. I just like look at them and I, whatever. And they usually stop.
Scary.
Well, we're back after, I feel like every time we see each other, it's been like a month since we've seen each other.
Really
So
long
I feel like
time.
we have like a lot to catch up on.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So it'll be like a lot of catch up and then choose a word,
Maybe that is our word.
Catch up. Not like
recap.
recap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's another word for ketchup. Mustard.
Yeah, I like the word recap. Update.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we got to make sure we keep it short or it's just going to be like,
Did you watch The Bachelor?
Yeah.
Me too. I heard that like Devin is not a good person. like all this stuff is coming out on him. He just gives me weird vibes.
I don't know. I guess I just like
It's
would
a
rather
little one-dimensional for me. I feel like
Like,
I'm bored. I'm
word.
bored with her.
Boring. Well, and I feel, I don't know. I feel like I'm starting to see more of like the scripting producer pushing stuff because I'm sorry, when she was on top of that building, she was smirking the whole time. I was like, you're not deathly afraid. If you were deathly afraid, you'd be in tears right now. Sam was being a jerk and I, but she was like, you're not understanding like my feelings. And I'm like, well, you're not acting like you're scared. Like you're just being annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, maybe
Well, and
people.
then when she ended up going in a helicopter this time, I was like, can we be done with this whole thing? Like, I'm
can we not think of
so
anything else?
bored.
Right.
Yeah, kind of boring. But it's so funny when she's like, you're going to find your person. And I'm like, yeah, on Paradise Island is where you're going to find it.
That's
So,
really where all these guys want to go.
Mm-hmm.
right.
That's it. Girls in bikinis being bimbos.
Yeah.
That's what all those guys want.
They're like, cool. I've been on the show long enough to gain some more followers so that I can be an influencer and not
Yep.
work anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, well, we'll see. But snore.
Welcome back to A Word with the Girls. I'm Molly, and I'm joined by my sisters, Emily and Abby. We're so excited to be back.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you are, if you're not already, go and follow us on Instagram at A Word with the Girls. And if you haven't subscribed to our podcast on Spotify, you can click that follow button so you don't miss an episode. You can also find us on YouTube and subscribe to us there. We would always love to hear from you. So if you've got a question or a word that you'd like to suggest, make sure to comment on Spotify, Instagram, or YouTube, and your word might be featured in a future episode. All right. Our question of the day as a catch up is, what have you been finding entertaining lately?
Well, I was inspired by Abby's like summer goal of like kind of stepping back from social media. And so I kind of took that for the last few weeks, really. And I have been reading like a maniac. I think I've read like 3 or 4 books in the last few weeks. And so that's been like really fun. I never thought myself to be a reader or a bookworm by that matter. I'm a part of a book club with my church, which has kind of given me an opportunity to kind of try some books. And then, yeah. So anyways, I've read some like really good books recently. The Housemaid was like, I think I read it in a day. It was so good. I just finished First Lie Wins, which mom recommended, which then just so happened to be the book for the book club at our library. And so I went to a book club with these like total strangers. And it was so fun to like talk about a book that you're like, I've read this, so I can have some input. So it's been super fun. And I just finished another book yesterday. And so I am starting a new one today that has been so good. I ended up buying it because it's so amazing. It's called God on Mute. And it's written by this guy, Pete something or other. If you are familiar with the app Lectio 365, he's the guy who often reads it. I think he's British. And it's this book about when your prayers are unanswered and navigating that. And it's his story of his own life, but then he like weaves in the gospel, but then he weaves in other authors, including C.S. Lewis's books. And I was like in tears today because it's just it's so beautiful and it's so encouraging and it's amazing. And I love it. So I'm listening to it, but I also bought it because I just feel like there's so many things I just want to like highlight and put somewhere where I'll remember and read. So
Cool.
Yeah. God on Mute. It's amazing.
I don't know yet.
I mean, mine is definitely far less deep. I love Bachelor season and not only watching the episodes, but then also listening to podcasts about it. Like I just like the commentary on it, you know? So that's what I've been.
Sometimes it's nice to have escapes. You know, if life is really hard and heavy, like those things are totally fine.
Yeah, or just like the stuff you get fired up about, like there's some other YouTube channels that have been watching that do just like commentary on Christian culture and things like that. And I don't know. I find social commentary really interesting.
'Tis the season too. Yikes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's true.
The only thing I can think of that's like new and entertaining, I'm not a baker, nor do I pretend to be one.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, hey, let's try and start our own sourdough starter, because that'd be fun. Like, what? So, about a month ago, I started my own and it was doing really good. And then I thought I killed it for about a week and a half. And then just today, it started bubbling again.
Yeah.
Just without you doing anything?
No, I've been discarding and adding water and discard and doing the thing, but it
Mm.
just would never. And so I kind of changed the ratios, and today it started bubbling again.
That's exciting.
And so now I have a starter that's like, what do you
Alive.
call it? Live and active.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow I'm going to make my first, well, probably won't eat it because it's like a whole day thing. Which is
It's
also
a
fun.
whole long process. It's
It's a commitment.
yeah.
Did you name it?
I've-
Because they say name it because it's like
Not
another
yet.
child.
And, Millie told me that. She's like, Mom, you have to name it. I'm like, okay. But I feel like God is just teaching me something through this. I am a very impatient person. I want things done immediately. And I'm like, I feel like God put it on my heart. I don't know why to do this. Like, sourdough is not my thing. But
Right.
here we
Mom's
are.
been telling you to make your own bread for years.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
fun
and then I'm
though.
like, no,
It'll
I'm
be
gonna
a
do
fun
sourdough.
accomplishment.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it could be a total bust still.
Yeah.
So
Well-
that's been entertaining, feeding it in the morning, and it's just the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
But it's been entertaining nonetheless.
Well, I'm not a baker either, but I did find satisfaction in some of the recipes that I made that actually were successful.
Mhm.
So like the discard crackers are better than Cheez-Its. Like so delicious, so easy. I would just like whip out a batch every day when I would discard.
Yum.
They're so good. So
Yeah.
good. So
Yeah, so I think it's been good for me to just be patient and
Mhm.
believe that I could do something when it's really not my thing at all.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
And if all
We're
else
just
fails, you
giving
can
it-
just reap from mom's
yeah,
loaves.
right. But there was like this determination in me. I was like, oh, I just want to try it.
Yeah.
I'll just try it.
Good job. Molly, do you still have
But some-
some? Weren't you doing sourdough?
Mhm.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have the starter in my fridge, but I made the 2 loaves and they didn't quite work out. I mean, they tasted good. They just looked bad. They didn't
Yeah.
rise very well.
yeah, the rise, you have to like let it rise for like 8 hours.
Well, and it's just so like precarious, Like
Mhm.
you got to do it the exact right way or it doesn't really work. Like you just have to do these multiple proving times
Mhm.
that total to like 8 hours.
Right.
or
So you have to plan
something.
like a day ahead if you want a loaf of bread for dinner.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I like my Greek yogurt self-rising
Mhm.
flour recipe. It is thebomb.com. I could eat the whole loaf in one sitting. It's so good and it's so easy and it doesn't require a whole lot.
Well, we may just
Because you can
transition
make
to that.
bagels out of that. You can make pizza dough out of that. You can make,
A loaf of bread. It's
yeah.
amazing.
That's crazy. It's just
And
Greek
it's
yogurt and
high,
flour.
high protein. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's amazing. So good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Huh. Well, we may end up transitioning to that anyway.
Well, good
Or
for
the
you for trying.
artisan bread too
That's
is
good.
easy
Right.
compared to the sourdough.
Yeah. Who knows?
Hmm.
Fun. Well, it all
Fun and
sounds
different.
very entertaining. Intellectual in 3 different ways, I guess. You know? Fun. What else has been going on? Abby, you took a hiatus from social media and you did some camping this summer and
Yep. Yeah.
what'd you learn?
Let's see. I think, taking a break from social media is always good. I'd be on Facebook a few times just selling stuff on Marketplace, but even just like a second of seeing what people are doing, I could just feel myself FOMO. And I was like, no, 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 no. So I think it's just a reminder to me that, like, not yet. I've been on Instagram a few times to like look over all the messages from people, but and like a few things. Like I saw Quinn's thing, that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But social media is just, I just feel icky from it.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to remember that. I don't feel the urge to post anything.
That's good.
I mean, I have tons of fun adventures that we've gone on and things we've done, and the kids are so precious, but I'm like, no, no, I'm good.
Make a photo book or something.
Right. Yeah. Chat books. Chat books is where it's at. So yeah, that break has been good. And I think I'm just going to kind of keep carrying it on. I pop on it every, like maybe in the morning, and then I delete it for the rest of the day just because I need that type of like
Boundary.
I have to have that type of self-control, or I'll just, open it up and scroll for no reason.
Yeah.
So what else have we done? Well, we were supposed to go on a camping trip with my friend Cameron and her family, but we got COVID. So that was fun. Yeah. So we were sick for that, and that was not fun. Missed out on this fun trip. We were supposed to go to Kepler Corner with them, and we had planned it like months ago. So that was a major bummer. But after we got better, I actually got to go on my first mommy's night away with some girlfriends in our neighborhood. We went to Telluride for the night.
Fun.
And it was magical and so good. Those girls are just awesome. Yeah, no drama, cool girls, up for anything. It was just a great time. I went on a trail run with one of the moms. She's also a runner. And then one of my other friends in the group, her and I just sat and looked at the beautiful view and had coffee, and it was just great. Good food. We swam in the pool and had drinks. So yeah, that was really nice.
Nice.
So now I'm just gearing up for school to start. We'll start school. Well, it's supposed to be on Monday, but I think I might have to move it to Tuesday because there's an orientation at our homeschool enrichment program that I have to go to on Monday. And oh yeah, we're redoing the playroom, which is also quite the huge project. Yeah, we bit off a little more than we can chew. So that's fun.
Oh, the table and bookshelf thingies, not as easy as you thought?
This thing, like I said, with the sourdough, where I have to learn to be patient. Oh, it's very hard. And, like the playroom is like my work zone. Right. And so I'm trying to like lesson plan and get things going. And it's just a disaster in the playroom. There's books everywhere. It just, yeah. So it's hard in my head to get things clear when my space is a mess. But I can't do anything about it until we have what we're making. So that's fine.
Is he able to get it done in the next couple days?
Hopefully. He's been a bit preoccupied, So
wow.
Well, if all else fails, you can do school outside.
I mean,
or at the dining room table.
Yeah, I was like, okay, kiddos, we might not be able to do it upstairs but it's hard because the playroom is also, when we do quiet times, I have one of the kids up there and it's just a mess. And so they're in quiet time together. And so it's just like,
don't look at each other. Don't talk to each other. Be quiet.
They need space. Millie especially. She's like, I just want to be alone. I'm like, I'm sorry. I have put one in my room.
That's
yeah. So we have done that.
Okay.
But anyway, that's my spiel for now.
Molly, you are killing it with the running. I'm so proud of you. How is training going?
Yeah. I don't know. It's so interesting because I feel proud of like the mileage that I've put in. So in 2 months I ran like 185 miles, which is outrageous. So yeah, but then last weekend I went with mom and dad to Uray and was like, you know what, I really want to try, because I think the thing that's tripping me up the most is that there's a time limit. Okay. Like you have 2.5 hours to get to 7.65 miles. And if you don't make it in time, then you have to turn around and run back down to Uray. And so I was like, I really want to try that first leg because I need to like prove to myself that I can do it. Well, I tried and I failed.
But what were
So,
the environmental factors in which this
Yeah.
wasn't
What does that
successful?
mean? What does fail mean?
well, I mean, part of it was I had never done it before, so I didn't
Mhm.
have any idea what to expect.
Mhm.
Also, we didn't really start until like the middle of the day and it was quite warm.
Mhm.
Um, I also like my stomach was weird, um, and not feeling great. And then I was like less than 2 miles from the checkpoint and had about 40 minutes of time left, but I ran out of water.
Mhm.
And I was like,
That wouldn't be
I
smart.
can't keep going if I
Right.
don't have
Mm.
water. Like it just didn't feel very smart.
Right.
Plus it was like back up in like the actual Imogene Pass part where it's like fun. I didn't even get to do the fun part. I only got to run the horrible road to the fun part. So, um yeah. Plus there was tons of traffic going up there.
Oh.
Four-wheelers, cars all the time. So I was like having to move over to the side and like
Dust.
it was really
Ooh.
dusty. Um so yeah, it was just like a lot.
Are you going to try it
But
again?
yes,
Okay. Good.
but it was just extremely discouraging because all I wanted was to like know like what it was like to get to that first checkpoint and that I could do it. And so I'm still in a spot of like I just don't know if I can,
You
you
can.
know.
You need to set yourself
So,
up for success next time though. Like start earlier, make sure you fuel
yes.
better, have more water. Like I think those things will help you. And now you mentally are more prepared of what to expect.
Yeah. Anyways, it was pretty good. And then the next day, I, it's so funny because mom was like, well, we can go back tomorrow. Let's go back tomorrow. Let's do it again. And I'm like, I think I think I need to not do that. Like, I don't,
Mhm.
I think I need to recover a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Find a different win. Kind of reboost yourself.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Have a win.
Because I really was just like in not a good headspace at all, you know? And I also wasn't ready for mom to be like driving the car behind me, you know, like with the pressure of. So,
That makes sense.
anyways, so then I did a different run up on the mesa on the way home, which was actually really beautiful. It was nice and cool and breezy, and the view was like one of the most amazing I've ever seen. But then I also tripped and really gashed up my leg. Like
How wait, are you okay?
it hurts.
It hurts still.
Like it's just really swollen.
Did you hurt your knee?
Not like internally, but
It's just, like,
the cut is
tender.
really, I mean, it's gross.
Did you put hydrogen peroxide on it?
Oh yeah,
It's
yikes. Deepening.
Yeah, I've been
Thank you.
doing hydrogen peroxide, Neosporin,
Okay, good.
and I've been letting it breathe. Like at night, I've been not wearing a bandage, but like during the day, it just feels safer to put a band-aid on there.
Yeah.
But I think it would really heal up better if it wasn't.
Mm-hmm. It needs the air in there to
Yeah.
dry out a little bit.
So,
Oh.
anyways, I mean, I went for a run yesterday morning, but I needed like I put like a hair tie, not a hair tie, but like a headband because it's like swollen. So then it's like,
It's jiggly.
yeah, it's really gross.
Yeah.
So I like put something underneath to kind of like hold it in place. So gross. But it was fine. So like it doesn't hurt from running. It just hurts from,
It's just
being
sore.
gashed open by a rock. So
Well, and it's like a bendy joint, so it's not like it's always constantly being like jostled.
right.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Huh.
So I feel like this weekend my plan is to do I think I'm going to try and do Serpent's Trail on Saturday morning.
Cool.
And then on Sunday I'm going to try and go back to Uray.
Okay.
But I think I have to go by myself cuz mom and dad are gone,
Dang it.
Well, that's
which I
right.
think is okay. I mean, it's a road. It's not like it's out in the middle of nowhere.
I know, but if something happens, could you wait till the following weekend? You feel like that's too close.
I don't know. I just feel like I need to get out there and do it. for my own
Do you have a
mental-
friend who can be a sag wagon?
Not anyone that I would want to make get up at like
The crack of
the
dawn.
crack of dawn.
Well, and you
I
said it's
don't
on
know.
a Sunday.
I think it'll be fine. I'll be okay. You actually, there's decent signal out there for most of it. So,
There's plenty of water and
well, and my thought, well, that's why I got the new one and the two things. My other thought was like to drive up there a little ways and just like hide a water bottle somewhere.
that's smart.
Hmm.
Like cash.
Mhm.
Yeah. that's a
But
great idea.
I think between the two bottles and the pack, it should be okay. Plus, if it's not as hot, then I won't have to drink as much water. That was part of the
Exactly.
problem.
Yes, right.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways,
It's great. You're almost to the end here.
Yeah.
I know.
A month from today, tomorrow.
Wow.
Mhm.
So you're training and you just started school. So lots of big things. And you have a break from school, like your classes.
Yeah, so I finished summer term of grad school. That went well. Made it through those classes. Fall starts the end of August. And I think it's going to be kind of painful because my assignment at the high school is very intense. I have like so many evaluations due in September. So many. So I'm nervous about that. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to have school on top of this. Okay.
Yeah.
What are your classes that you're taking?
Instructional leadership and administration and supervision or something. I don't know. Very leadership heavy.
Okay.
So,
And we're going on vacation.
right.
We just have to manage, those expectations and like giving you space to study so that you can enjoy family time.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be like right when things start. So
That's true. That's true.
It'll be fine.
Any updates on the dating game?
Well, I don't know. This summer I have gone on dates, so that's something. And I went on a few that were good. I think it's just so interesting. And I'm grateful because I think compared to, who I was almost 10 years ago when I even started online dating, I feel like I've just gotten better at knowing when to make the call on something that maybe isn't going to work. And it just gets more complicated the older you get because people are more established and they have their things that they bring to the table, and it just comes down to those really important things, and I think for me, like, faith is always going to be one of those, and vocation is always going to be one of those. And just like those qualities that I'm looking for too, and it's just funny how it seems really hard to imagine that there's someone out there who embodies all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's not that many things that I'm like, it's not like I have a whole list of 100 qualities or whatever, or I'm like super picky or particular, like, but the things that matter feel far-fetched sometimes.
They're just really deep, important things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is
that are
good.
not non-compromisable, if that's even a word.
Non-negotiable.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I would love to be married and to find someone, but also I'm not willing to lose myself in that or compromise to the point where I don't know who I am anymore, or, or willing to settle. And so, yeah. So I'm grateful for a gut that knows,
Mm-hmm.
A gut that I can trust.
Yeah.
Which is probably God. So thanks God.
Mm-hmm.
But it just makes it really hard because it's like, it doesn't get to be fun for very, like it's fun for like 5 minutes. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, okay.
Darn it.
There's
reality. And
yeah. Well, and at this age, I feel like it's kind of one of those things of like, we're either going to do this or not. And and you just put it out all out on the table the older you get, because you don't really have time. It's not like you're 20, you
Right.
know, and
Which I
you don't want to waste each
appreciated,
other's
you
time.
know,
Yeah.
the most recent situation. It was just that. It was like, wow, I'm really glad we're having this conversation now and not after we've been dating for
Investing.
3 months or
Right.
whatever, you know?
Mhm.
So, and it really, for me, it was a lot less painful for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Because it was not very much time. So,
Okay. So the journey continues.
but yeah, it's like I think there's some reels out there of like where it goes pew 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 pew, you know, like where you're like a good date, yeah, okay, we're good, we're good. Oh no, like it never gets to the next thing, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but I also have a lot going on this
Season.
year, so it's.
Mhm.
I think that was the other thing that just really was like, I just don't know how this is gonna fit.
Right.
And if it's not worth it, I mean, I think
Exactly.
you would make it fit if it was
For
like,
sure.
this is it. But
Mhm.
It's a lot of effort that would have to like really fit well, almost like in an easy way
Right,
rather than
just
it being
really
like forced.
natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm grateful to have ended this season of dating with like dates that weren't terrible, right?
Yeah.
So so I'm grateful for that.
Your win will be getting to that dumb checkpoint by 7 hours or whatever. That is the goal. We're going to do it. You're going to do it. Yeah. It's going to happen. And
Mhm.
I feel like you've told me this in the past, and I appreciated this perspective too. Like, where sometimes the things in our minds, like our biggest fears, or what sometimes like hold us back or paralyze us, and we don't move forward. And sometimes what you've told me in the past is like, you have to not let those things have power over you. So just speak whatever the worst case scenario would be. So, worst case scenario, you don't get there. Okay.
Mhm.
And you got to come back down. Like, you attempted it. You ran 7 miles up an entire mountain. That's like more than a lot of people can ever say. So, like, I don't know. Though that's not like the goal clearly,
Mhm.
but even like that worst case scenario is like still a huge win and still a huge accomplishment. And I think
Mhm.
having that perspective will, that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
And
helpful,
I've
but
already thought like if I don't make it, I already know how I would train differently. And I
totally.
already know how I would what I would do differently
Yeah.
to make it happen.
And it's not a
So,
fail. And you as a one and a recovering perfectionist, like giving yourself permission to
mm,
potentially like not be perfect and you run the
mhm.
best race of your life, like that is okay too. So
And if it weren't for that time, that cutoff,
I know.
I would have no worries about anything
Yeah.
because, but there's just something about that cutoff that's like,
Yeah.
well, it's pushing you to probably run faster than you feel like you're capable of, which is
yeah.
not the truth. But there's something about that tick that you're like, can't do it. When in
Mhm.
reality, you're putting
Mhm.
in the work to be able to do it. Right.
And I think that environment in itself, the morning, people are there. I feel like that is going to give you this like extra gear that's like deep down inside of you that is just going to like you're going to find a person and you're going to like, that's my person. I'm sticking with them. Like I feel like that's just going to like blow
Mhm.
blow you up the top of the mountain like nothing.
Mhm.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I was also telling mom if I could run right now, I would go bandit style and run with you as maybe like 400 yards, but like not very far, but like to be like, I'm running with you. So,
Mhm.
no, I'm so excited, but I'm so proud of you. Like, you are so strong. Like, every time you send us pictures of like, oh, I just ran 10 miles or I ran 13 miles. And I'm just like so, so proud of you. And it's just so cool to watch you like just dig deep, like more than I've ever seen before. And so that's just been really, really fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I think even just for me to have a goal and work towards it,
Mhm.
I felt the same way with the half marathon of just like, oh, I can do that. Like,
Mhm.
it's just not, yeah, it's not something I typically have done in the past. And so,
It's good. And it's you. That's why I love it. It's like This is something that you get to do. You get to put in the amount of work you want to. No one else is going to do it for you. But then no one else also gets to finish it and feel accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the best.
Who knows? Maybe I'm like putting together some fun stuff to send your way. You never know.
Perfect.
You never know.
Yeah. No, I do feel like, because it's a month from today.
Okay.
So I've even thought like maybe I need to get off social media too and just like fill my brain with good thoughts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
And, like,
Mantras. Put them all
productive.
over your place.
Productive
Like,
thoughts.
I'm strong. I'm capable. Like, I remind
Well,
yourself
and
of those
every
things.
moment holy has a prayer about exercise and like your body. And
What's it called?
every moment holy, it's like the liturgy. They like write prayers about a bunch of stuff, but it's so good before exercising. Like it just talks about like just being grateful for your body and how
really
strong
good.
it is and like what it can do.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I also think maybe a mantra that could be good for you to just tell yourself is like, you have nothing to prove.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, I think that's when I get tripped up is when I think about like everyone else's feelings.
Yeah.
And everyone else's, like who's going to be let down if I don't make it?
Nobody.
Who's going to be judgmental? Who's going to like,
Well, and I think that's where social media is the worst because I think that's where you're feeling the pressure because you've invited people along in the journey with you.
right. Like
There's
putting it
this-
out there and then having the failure of not being able
like
to
you
make
feel
it
like you have to prove
Yeah.
something which you actually don't. You've already proven that you're diligent, determined, strong, a fast runner, a strong runner. You don't have anything to prove to anybody. And so like if your main goal is to finish so you can post about it, you got to get rid of that.
Right. That is a fleeting goal.
Right. Because like you've already done the work to prove to yourself. You don't have to prove anything to anybody.
Yeah. Today, YouVersion, which is like the Bible app that I use on my phone, has these like daily verses, and then they bring in people to like read the verse and then talk about it. And because it's the Olympic season, they have like all these different Olympians talking. And today, like some of them are clearly like not speakers. This is not their calling to like preach, but today's was so good. So go listen to her. I think she's from Great Britain, but I think it was on Colossians 3:23, like do like whatever you do it for the Lord. I can't remember exactly what all of it was, but whatever her message was, it was so good. So make sure you go do that before the end of the day because then they go away. They're only like day by day.
Okay. The YouVersion.
Yeah, that's the Bible app that I use, but so good. It's been so fun to like see all these athletes be like, I'm a 2-time athlete, but then to constantly be reminded about it's like it's not their performance. Like at the end of the day, like they do everything like it's not for the fame or whatever. I don't know. So it was just like really good.
No, it's definitely been inspiring to watch the Olympics.
Yeah.
And to like watch what they do to prepare and like and to watch some of their failures as well, So
yeah, mental health is going to be a huge like the mental piece is like 90% of it because it's like what you tell yourself. Not like it's like woo woo, it'll manifest whatever, but like if you tell yourself you're not going to do it, like subconsciously, you're already screwing yourself, All right, well, I'll start putting together things for you to like tell yourself and remind yourself. And well, on the same vein of like getting off social media or whatever and all it being not healthy or triggering or whatever, like I think the biggest like update on our end is like it's been clearly a hard year with like my Achilles, and then for those of you who don't know, we ended up getting pregnant in end of March, and then Kevin was out of town, and then I had a miscarriage, which then led to an ectopic pregnancy. It's been a very confusing journey, which landed me in the ER, and I had surgery and lost the fallopian tube, and so it's just been like a really hard year of loss, and I was feeling hopeful, like, okay, we can try again. And it's been the last few months have just been really disappointing and really discouraging of not seeing success in that journey. And really struggling with the Lord and being like, I don't understand why you're not answering these prayers. Like, I don't understand what's going on. And the tricky thing with social media is that like you get all these algorithms, and so then you start seeing people's posts about them trying to conceive and their successes and them seeing positive pregnancy tests. And so it's just been really hard to see that and to want that, but then it not be happening for us. And so then we went and saw a reproductive specialist just to kind of see, because our situation's super complicated from having a miscarriage and ectopic pregnancy, then losing a fallopian tube. But then on top of that, I also live with a chronic disease, which also needs to be managed by medication, which I've been off of since like November, which has now shown that the medicine's like no longer like in my system. And so I have to get an infusion again. And it's just been really, really challenging. And so we've kind of made the decision to kind of take a bit of a break and put my health back kind of on the forefront. And I think we've decided to get an infusion, which kind of delays things a little bit, which then delays our whole plan of like retiring and moving to Colorado. And so it's just been a season of just like a lot of, disappointment and struggling. And so for any of you who listen and who've walked this journey, like the whole journey of trying to conceive is all consuming. And so it's a fight to not be consumed by that. And that can go with anything, whatever disappointments you're facing in life. Like it just, you think about it all the time. And so it doesn't help that I don't have a full-time job either. So I'm excited to get back to work, like get back into the school and be busy again. But this book that I'm reading right now has just been so good for my heart. Cause it's like, there's this song that I listened to that I was like crying about, but it was just talking about like, whether it's yes or no or wait, like, that God is like still worthy to be praised, like even in the midst of your unanswered prayers or your dreams or your hopes that you have, whether it's to like find a spouse or, accomplish whatever goal or have a child or whatever, like God is still worthy to be praised. And so I'm being reminded of that. And, so it's just been a hard journey, but it's also been super sweet because the amount of women who've walked through the same thing, probably more silently and not as publicly as sometimes I have done. It's just like so much more common than you realize. And so it's just been really sweet to have that community of people to also encourage and walk alongside and know that they're struggling too. And it's just a silent suffering that's hard. So anyways, I just keep thinking like, okay, I gotta get off of like TikTok because I think that's the one that's like the most triggering for me. But it's also hard because like I'm doing all these like cool things of like I finally graduated from seeing my orthopedic surgeon. Like I'm sort of recovered, not fully, and I want to like share that with people. So it's just like this double-edged sword. So anyways, so that's kind of where we're at now. That's the update.
Do you feel peace about the decision that you are making though?
Yes. Living with a chronic disease while trying to conceive, while also post loss is just really,
too much.
really, really hard. Nice. But
are you in therapy right now?
No. I probably should. I should meet with a counselor. Like I'm like okay emotionally, aside from Sunday. We were just really sad, but maybe I should talk with somebody. I don't know. It's tricky because like even on Sunday at church, somebody came up to me and was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they kind of like know a little bit of our history, and I just broke out into tears, and I was like, I really just don't want to be around people. Like I don't want to just keep doing this. Like it just makes me sad. And I was like, I think I'm just gonna leave church early, like before people come up to talk to me. Because what's tricky, and I don't blame people, but like I've had people be like, "Are you pregnant yet? Are you drinking water? Are you pregnant?" And
that seems so insensitive.
That's stupid. I know.
It's hard because I know how desperately people want that for us, and we want it too. And it's really hard.
But I told her like people should know that no news means like no news.
Nothing. Like I will tell you.
regardless of anyone's story
It's
or
not, it's
situation,
not,
you wait for
yeah.
them to tell
Yep.
you.
I know.
Yep.
What are you doing? That's crazy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So it's hard where like before it's so weird, because we've been married for 13 years and for the first 12, we were like, nah, I don't know if we're going to have kids. We don't really know. And so like, even if people asked, it didn't bother me. I was like, I don't know if we're going to have kids or not. Like it did not bother me. But now when total strangers come up to us, like, oh, do you have kids yet? Or like a little kid at church is like, do you have a baby in your belly too? And you're like, wow, this hits differently. Like this feels
Mhm.
different. And so yeah, my empathy has increased significantly just
Mhm.
for that of just like,
Mhm.
and I have friends in my life who've struggled with infertility for a long time, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, like, but you don't know, you don't understand until you've like walked through it.
Right.
So yeah, so it's been a journey, and but
Mhm.
God is just, he just continues to remind me like his character, and I just keep thinking like, I'm so thankful for my faith, because this is what, like, I think in the book that I'm reading, um his wife had gotten like a tumor or something, and he was like mad at God or whatever, and she was like, God's all I've got. And that's kind of what I think. I'm like, honestly, like that's what I've got right now, and that's enough.
Mhm.
And being reminded of that is sometimes hard, but
Mhm.
it's true. So anywho,
Mhm.
so that's the fun update on our end. So I'm just trying to celebrate little victories, like graduating from seeing the doctor, doing the agility ladder at PT, things like that. Um,
Good for
eh,
you for seeing even just little wins like that.
you got to,
Well,
or
and that there isn't anything, I mean, I guess, there's not anything wrong. There's
as far as
not
we know,
any,
right?
I don't know if that's harder or easier or what, but
I think it just reminds me of God's sovereignty, that at the end of the day, like I literally have zero control over any of this unless we like go to some extreme measures, which just financially isn't an option for us. But even that, there's no guarantee. And I'm
Mhm.
just like, okay, God, like you can do the impossible. Like you are capable, you are able. And it's just a matter of like trusting in his timing. And I just keep being reminded of like, he is outside of time. He knows, he like goes before us. He knows what's ahead. And like, he
Mhm.
does not delay, even though in my mind, it feels like delay after delay after delay. And I just have to remind myself that like his ways are higher than mine. Like just, yeah, clinging to scripture really. Um,
Mhm.
and trying not to let it become like this obsession, which yeah, maybe a counselor would be helpful of like, how do I not think about this all the time? Because, you want to test all these things to make sure timing is right for stuff. And that becomes all consuming and all you think about. Anywho, I was given permission by Kevin to share this because, I have shared some things like on social media and some people know, but that's kind of like a much more in-depth
Mhm.
explanation of everything. But I think I'm mostly looking forward to just coming to Colorado and spending time with my family, because that's who I want to be around. you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it too.
I don't know. Maybe a therapist would be a helpful way to kind of like compartmentalize some of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I can't imagine that having it consume all of your thoughts makes for a very like peaceful space to create a baby,
Right. Yeah. High
Um,
cortisol levels is not helpful for
right,
anything.
right.
And I know that there are therapists out there who kind of like specialize probably more in like these things,
Mhm.
and then also just like seeking resources. I mean, I've not yet been diagnosed with infertility, like
Right.
but my age doesn't help and all these different things, but it probably wouldn't hurt, having a therapist to talk to would probably be really helpful for both Kevin and I, although, he handles it much differently than I do, which is totally fine and valid. And unfortunately, the women are the ones who have to do it all physically, mentally,
Right. I
emotionally.
mean, you're the vessel in which this thing is supposed to like grow and thrive. So
Right. Yeah.
his role is important, but
Mm-hmm.
which I think is, yeah, a reason to, I mean, it sounds like you're doing all the right things. Like, I'm glad that you're finding good coping mechanisms and things like that, because I think it would be easy to, yeah, get into some scary headspaces.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wonder about like, I don't know, meditation, you know, like taking those verses that you're talking about and somehow
Mm-hmm.
like trying to calm your body down a little bit.
Yeah, well, and like it's so stinking hot here, but one of the things that I wanted to start doing was like going on walks with Jesus,
Mhm.
like no music, just
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. Yeah, and having like scripture and all of that. So, yup. But I've also like just because I'm a 3 and I'm like, okay, if that's not successful, then we're gonna go find something else that's gonna be successful because I need wins in my life, and so then I'm like, fine, then I'm just gonna get really healthy and I'm just gonna go to the gym and get really healthy. Like if that's not something I can do right now, then this is what I'm gonna do because I'm like given more freedoms to like get
Right.
healthy again.
Which could also be raising your cortisol levels. If you're like, if you're doing extreme cardio, isn't that what they say? I don't know if that's real or not, but that's what they say.
I mean, extreme cardio. I think I did 5 minutes on the Stairmaster because I almost died. So I don't know how you do it for 30 minutes and a rower for like 5. So it's like very minimal, but I think it just feels so good to like do more
Yeah.
athletic things and have a different
Well, and
goal.
release the anger and
Release.
frustration.
Right. In
'Cause
healthy
then
ways.
that makes for like, ooh, I feel
Mhm.
good and I'm
Right.
ready.
Endorphins.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Mhm.
And that's what I always tell people in my classes. I'm always like, what's your intention? Set your intention on why you're coming to class today. And then use that to channel it. Like, this is a healthy place to channel all your feelings, like your mood and all that. And so I'm just like having to like preach to myself too. So, but I'm always open to any resources that people have. I'm happy to share what I've read myself. So yeah, life is hard, but God is good. And that is what we cling to.
Yeah. Sometimes being a grown up is stupid.
Yeah. But we don't want to end on like a sour, sad, low note. So, what is something you're looking forward to in the next week or two?
I just think starting up school with my kids.
Yeah. That doesn't stress
Yeah.
you out. Ugh.
I mean, the preparation does, but just jumping into the year and yeah, Millie is really excited. And
Good.
she said it's going to be the best year yet.
And she has cool new clothes. So,
Oh yeah,
that
and we
helps.
got new shoes today. They're very cute.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just excited for the year ahead. I'm trying my hardest to like prep better. So yeah, I'm hopeful and I'm excited just to start the year off and have a third grader, first grader, and a 16-month-old. So
Cool. Well, structure I think is good too. Like you're going to get back into your rhythm and I think you really thrive in rhythm.
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking forward to next week.
Cool. Well, what about you?
I guess I'm looking forward to the runs I want to do this weekend. I think long term for this year, because the school year has started for me and it's feeling very daunting, but I think um it's just really nice to kind of know what I'm doing,
Mm.
and to be practicing my leadership skills in the role that I'm in right now.
Mhm.
I just feel like I'm getting a lot of opportunities to like prove myself to people.
Love it. Mhm.
And like I've only been at the high school for like
12 hours.
Yeah, literally.
like working with this team for maybe like a week, and I already have people just being like, so glad you're here, like thank you so much, you're
That's amazing.
even though I'm like, guys, I really don't know what I'm doing really, but just like being someone who shows up and who helps and who can be relied on, like I don't know, I feel like I'm becoming the leader that I'm supposed to be, and it's just like it's really cool.
I love
And
that.
there have been just a few days where I'm like, okay, that was badass. Good job.
Oh,
So, so I'm
love
proud of
that.
myself in that.
That's so cool. I will say, when I think of like people that I love and I'm praying for them as I'm like driving my car or whatever. I mostly for you and Kevin, because you're both ones, and I think you're just like really hard on yourselves. And I just always pray for like wins and like successes for you, and for you to be like affirmed in what you're doing, because you do work hard and you do show up and you really are amazing at what you do. And I want people to see that, and I want you to know that, and I want people to tell you that. And so that just makes me really happy that like you're getting that affirmation, because
Yeah.
everybody knows it, but I think you need to know it, and being told by
Yeah.
other people is helpful. So
Yeah. No, I had a teacher today be like, I wanted to email you this, but I didn't know if it was like inappropriate, but I just wanted to be like, oh my gosh, I love you so much. Like, and I was like, thanks, it's totally fine. Like it was so
that's great.
yeah.
Cool.
That's so good.
So that felt good.
Yay.
Yeah.
Already crushing it, and you're only a week in.
Seriously.
know.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Boss.
So good. Boss. Well,
Yeah.
what am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to next week, because this is potentially Kevin's last year in the Air Force. We are going to an Air Force ball, and I am so
Yay.
excited. I got a dress off of Rent the Runway. We got a night at the hotel where the ball is happening, and one of my friends from church is going to, and I'm just so excited. It's just really fun to get dressed up and dolled up, and
That's so fun.
yeah, just be like this like trophy wife on my military husband's arm, you know. So I'm just really looking forward to doing that. I know it's like it's so funny because all the guys in his work are like, ugh, no, I don't want to go to that, and he's like, why? Like, you know, it's cool, and we're like, why not? It's our last one, so so that's what's happening next week. Yeah, looking forward to a ball and getting my nails done and looking all pretty and fancy, and my dress is super pretty, and hopefully it shows up on time. So
Nice.
So fun. I'm excited for you.
I know what I was going to say. For those of you who are still listening, we have the most exciting exclusive interview that is going to be happening in the very near future. We are going to be talking to, wait for it, a gold medalist who competed in the Olympics this year. That's right. We're not going to say who. Maybe you already knew this if you've listened to previous podcasts or seen our Instagrams, but super pumped. So if you have any questions you want us to ask said Olympian, let us know. I think that'll be a good question to ask on our Instagram too, because I don't know what to ask. I just want to like talk his ear off and ask him.
Was it the Olympics, or did it just happen to be in Paris?
I know. It's a little bit like not quite.
But it's confusing because they still won gold.
I think it was a not an exhibition, but I think they're trying to see if polo is a sport that they want to bring into the Olympics. I think. Cool. But I think that's something we should ask. We should ask him.
His shirt said something. What did it say?
USA.
I mean, he's wearing a USA jersey.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
I know.
I can't wait to talk to him and his sister.
Just because for sure.
Well, they called it a polo challenge. Paris Games Polo Challenge.
But I want to ask him, like, what does this mean? So anyways, it's going to happen.
That's what it looked like.
We will book this with them. And he was like, so on board. So
fun.
But I'm calling it. I'm calling it that we know a gold medalist Olympian.
I mean, he won a gold medal. So
in Paris for the US
during the Olympics.
Therefore, a gold medalist Olympic athlete.
I think so too.
2024 Paris Games Polo Challenge champions. Yeah.
So anyways, stay tuned, everyone. That is the exciting thing that's happening.
Exclusive. Well, the other thing I just checked was how many followers we have on Instagram.
We've gone up a little.
Because wasn't our goal 100 in order to tell the story? So we're at 91.
Well, here's the deal.
Which is more, but
it is more. I thought it was podcast numbers.
Oh, maybe.
Which is fine.
What's that?
So I checked. We have 66 followers on Spotify. So we can decide if we get 100 on Instagram, we can share the story. It's whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm sure with our exclusive interview with a gold medalist.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll pull in some more.
We're gonna become famous. Famous. Well, thanks for joining us for A Word with the Girls, a podcast where one word sparks conversation. Although today we didn't really have much of a word other than like recap and update, and that's fine. You know, it's been a little while since we've gotten together. But if you don't yet follow us on Instagram or YouTube, go and click those follow buttons. And if Molly, like Molly said, if you have a word you want us to share, let us know. But we hope you are doing well and, you know, take care of yourselves. And what is it that you're looking forward to in the next few weeks? Let us know in the comments below. And yeah, we'll see you all next time, maybe with this gold medalist. We'll see when that's going to happen. But anyways, good to see you. Love you guys.
Love you more. Bye.
Bye.
Join us for A Word with the Girls. New episodes drop every week.